Here's the 5th tip to attract and keep a feminine woman.
Number 5, her complaint is content-free. The thing your woman is complaining about most oftentimes isn't what she's complaining about. I know, doesn't make sense. Her complaints are reminders that you as a man aren't fulfilling your purpose. Good example. If she feels like you're spending too much time playing video games, it likely means that you're also struggling with your responsibilities in the home or your ability to provide for the family. If you're showing up and doing the things that you should be doing as a man, then she's not going to worry about what it is that you do on that spare time. As a man, your word is your demonstration of your purpose. If you're unable to stand in a place of integrity with your word, your wife sees you as weak.
That's very, very true, guys. So listen, when women come to you and complain about stuff, for one, you got to recognize that because most women don't really like conflict, it's going to probably take her a while to come up with the words that she can say to you in terms of what her complaint is, that's not going to make her overly emotional in the moment. And more importantly, that she feels is not going to trigger you to be extremely mad. But understand that if a woman's coming to you with some kind of complaint, again, you got to go back to it's layers deep. So in the moment, for example, let's say she's saying, hey, I want to talk to you about the fact that you haven't been taking out the trash lately when I've asked you to. You're thinking it's about the trash. But what it's really about is that she's not feeling heard, she's not feeling supported, and she's feeling like she's doing more of the work that then is warranted for her to do because you guys are a partnership team. So if she comes to you and says, hey, so I don't want to make it a big deal, but just I noticed that lately you haven't been really taking out the trash like that. If you come back to her with, what do you mean? I just took the trash out yesterday. And well, you see, I just changed the trash last night. And how can you say blah, 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 blah? Then you're not actually, to her, arguing against the thing that she's actually bothered about. And so this goes back to him saying her complaint is content free. It's never, not that it's sometimes about the actual thing she's talking about, but more often than not, it's really going to a bigger situation, a bigger observation about her behavior that's affecting her, that's potentially affecting the family at large. And so this is why you have to learn to be a guy that's going to be more open to complaints in the relationship. And I'm not saying that you should be dating somebody that's going to be nagging your head off all the time and just complaining nonstop for no reason, but just take your ego out of her complaints. Realistically, we're all human. As good of a job as we try to do as men to try to, keep our woman happy, there's going to be times that we fall short or that our eye's not on the ball for a particular thing that she's going to be bugged about. And we actually need our helpmate and our person that we're with to come to us to point these things out, because one, it's going to make us better. And also you don't want these kind of things to go unfestered to where she starts building up resentment. Okay. So when she comes to you and she starts complaining, even if you're in the moment thinking, but I took out the trash, blah, 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 you could stop and say, okay, well, I see you're complaining about the trash thing, but like, what else is this about? Like, what is this? What other things is this really hitting on for? Like, are you not feeling like maybe I haven't been supportive, or that I'm not really as there for you as I need to be? Like, what, beyond just the trash stuff, like what's really the deeper issue? Just you asking that question and saying, hey, I recognize you have a complaint and I really want to know what all this is about. For one, that'll make her loosen up a little bit and not be so tight about because women will be like, they'll tell you some stuff and be like, okay, I got to be ready to fight him because he's going to try to fight me back. And you don't want your woman ever to be in that position. You want a woman that's going to think that if I go to him, we can have an open conversation. He's not going to yell at me or throw insults at me. And that's going to allow my complaint to be heard better. And then also don't do the thing of like, when she comes to complain, don't be the guy that's like, well, you never do this thing and blah, blah, blah. Like, because then that's going to just make her be like, okay, every time I have a legitimate complaint, he's going to try to come back with some stuff that he's going to complain about me, whether it's accurate or not. And this isn't going to make for a woman that's going to want to come to you. But it will make for a woman that's going to build resentment and eventually want to leave you when she realizes that regardless of what her complaint is, you're going to just be the one that's pushing back and saying that you're trying to attack me and blah, blah, blah. And by the way, if you're with a woman that's doing that, I also recommend to really get that fixed, because just like, women don't want to come to us sometimes because we can be held up with our egos and whatnot. Sometimes there are women out there that will also be like, well, I don't do anything wrong and I'm always right and you're the guy and you're always wrong. Don't continue to date those kind of women. They're not good for you. Okay.
Call this beat Will Smith, cause it slaps hard. Hear it not when I pull up